Barrister Mbeseha, now we see a pattern here, and it is not new, sadly. We see from the gas plant in Bamenda to the deep sea port in Victoria, neglect and abandonment by the colonial regime is vivid and clear. Now, does La Republic have the right to say, because Ambazonia claims to not be a part of it, they cannot and should not involve themselves in developing Amazonian infrastructure when they still reap from Ambazonia's natural resources?
No, let me answer your question. Let me go do analysis on your question. See, we believe, I think we're right, that La Republic du Cameroon are colonizers. They are the colonial masters. So they are occupying the territory as colonizers. But colonizing did not start today. The French colonized them. The British colonized Nigeria. And during the colonization, they collect taxes. It is also the responsibility of the colonial master to develop the area that they are colonizing, to build schools. That is fully their responsibility. To dig roads, to do infrastructure development. So there's no excuse that because Ambazonians are fighting to get out of it, they will not do it. It's their responsibility to provide the police, because you don't colonize people for nothing. People are paying taxes. You're getting money from them. So it's your responsibility to do the development, not a question of choice. That said, we can then go back to the issue. You see, we have made a big mistake. They were not inaugurating anything. They inaugurated nothing. Even from the Bamenda gas, whatever thing they call it, to the Kumba gas, because the gas thing came off Kumba Bamenda. They were inaugurating nothing. In Kumba, they purported to lay a foundation stone. You don't inaugurate a foundation stone for a project. A project is inaugurated when it is completely done. You inaugurate it to function. And so that said, I had said here many times before about this so-called gas plant. All that thing is a scheme to lie. It's not even marginalization. No, it's a fraudulent scheme to lie to people during election time. Were they launching a firewood plant, a charcoal plant, or a gas plant? I've asked this question many times before. How many women in Bamenda town actually use that gas? Similarly, how many women use gas in Kumba? If the town is like Bamenda, if it's 1 million or 2 million people who live there, less than 500 people use gas. So it was a ploy to deceive the public for election purposes. It's an election campaign thing. They did not intend to build any gas plant. They will not build any one. And so they could not inaugurate what they were not going to execute. As we speak, I doubt if there's even anything there. Talk less of their employing 1,000 people, or even 500, even 10 people. There's nothing there. They can bring some gas and put some bottles there, bring 20 people from Bunda, 5 from Bafut and put there and call them a gas plant. That thing will disappear after the elections. That's what it is. And so we always make the mistake. They are inaugurating nothing. Let us fast forward to the so-called the Victoria Deep Sea Port. They were not inaugurating anything called the Deep Sea Port. What they wrote down, which I read, that created something they call an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding. Cutting some of their friends together and say, okay, we're going to enter into some deal with the government. An understanding on how to build a deep sea port or how to manage it. I don't see how you do a memorandum of understanding in the construction of a seaport. A seaport like Sonora, like other things, are very big, giant projects. You can only do an MOU, memorandum of understanding, to manage it. There are different partners that will manage it, not for the construction. They have never desired to construct anything called deep sea port in Limbe. Never. They use that language. The deep sea port is a language they use, just like they talk about the ring road. The ring road project was never conceived by Yawande. It was controlled by the frontier government. And so they've been there every time they come. You know, that's the thing that they will sell to the whole northern zone. They say the ring road, the ring road. They will not construct it. But whenever their project, the deep sea port thing did not come out of here one day. The deep sea port project was there before they started colonizing us. They have never intended to build any deep sea port there. They've been lying all along. And so, over the years, they have brought things there to deceive people. There's something they brought there in the pretext that they're trying to be a deep sea port. They call it Chantier Naval. Chantier Naval was a ship repairing place where they would repair ships that anchor and have problems, which was by itself a fraudulent project. I went there. I went to Limbe when I saw that thing. They were building nothing. They appointed Fonjinda to be managing that project. Fonjinda lived in Douala. He never even lived in Limbe. After the thing expired, they took Fonjinda and sent him to jail. He's in jail as we speak. So they have never intended ever to build a deep sea port in Limbe. And so what you see they are talking about memorandum of understanding, which I think people do not even understand. And even they signed a memorandum of understanding. A seaport is not built on the memorandum of understanding. It involves a lot of money. They build different terminals that would accommodate different type of ships. It's a capital investment. They don't start by a memorandum of understanding. Memorandums of understanding are meant for the management when the thing is over. In other words, you manage this terminal, and then if the profits come from there, I will get 20%, you will get 30%, the other guy will get 5%. That is what the memorandum of understanding. So you don't do memorandums of understanding to build airports, or to build seaports, or to build major highways. If there's somebody come there where we came to sign a memorandum of understanding to dig the Bamenda Ring Road, it's a lie. Those are all political ploys that they are using to deceive us. It's outright deceit. It's not even marginalization. It's just outright lying. Criminal deceit. And so, again, there is nothing like Bamenda gas plant that is not working. They never intended it ever to work. It was political language. There's nothing like Kumba. I asked the question many times before. Why is it that these gas plants were so important in Amazonia? They laid the foundation for one in Kumba. 2 weeks after, they laid another one for Bamenda. And I asked, where's the gas plant from Bunda? Where's their own? Oh, they don't use gas there. Where's the gas plants for Bafusam and other places? So it was just election time. They creep out these things and said they're putting a gas plant just to buy votes. It's just the same thing that you find now. I've said it many times. You find them, if you go to Ring Road, you probably see some bulldozers standing there. Oh, we're doing the Ring Road. Why? Because elections are coming in 2 months. And that will be over. But unfortunately, these ones, again, they started to lie too early. There's no gas plant in Bamenda. There's no gas plant in Kumba. There's no plan to build a deep sea port in Limbe. Even their memorandum of understanding collapsed by itself. They could not even launch it. Even though we would have found some of our brothers, sisters back where people dancing in the Arapa, celebrating a port that was never going to come. I don't know why they do that. They ask, they want a deep sea port. What would they get out of it? Yes, they got Sonora. What did they get out of it before they killed it? I've asked the question, how many Bakari boys worked in the Sonora? Even just as cleaners? Nothing. And so these are liars. These are people who are just criminally lying to people for political reasons. And so whoever believes in them, do so at your own risk. I think those of us who are old enough understand when they lie, and they've always lied. Or understand when they deceive people, and they've always deceived people. So we don't need their deep sea port. We'll build one, well, okay. We don't need their gas plants. We'll put them where we need them at the appropriate time. And so I just guess the people in Bamenda, in Kuma, and everywhere in Amazonia have realized by themselves that this is all deceit. But the very sad thing about it is they don't lie this, they don't do these things alone. They do this with the complicity of their own brothers and sisters who come from Yaoundé in big vehicles, drive around, drink, invite you to come and dance, at the end of which they will give you a tin of sardine and a loaf of bread, and perhaps a free sikam wrapper with the effigy of President Paul Biya there, with the symbol of fire, that is symbol for CPDM elections. Sad, sad, sad. Over to you.
Thank you, Barrister Mbeseha. It indeed is sad and really sad.